Greetings, YouTube. Happy Sunday. Kabam has done this thing where they've been able to essentially give us, in the last couple weeks, a preview based on the homepage of deals. And it's been a couple days since we've had a deal to grade in the game. And so I just figured we wouldn't have one because there isn't that homepage header. But then you go to the in-game inbox and you see Alpha Catalyst bundles. And suddenly you realize that, indeed, we have deals to grade. They just ditched the fancy middle screen bundle. So it looks like we only have two. And Kabam is doing this thing. And I think at this point, why not at least give us a fully formed Tier 4 Class Catalyst crystal instead of these fragment crystals with this? And if you really want to be generous, and that's kind of, I don't know, it's actually kind of sarcasm given what we've seen. They have routinely for $30 given us deals that included a 5-star champion to rank 3 as a rank up or a 4-star champion to rank 5. Those deals have something really important in common. You need 3 class catalysts of that champion's class to take them up. So when you think about $30 for that deal, it's really $10 a piece for a tier 4 class catalyst selector. And so for $10, I think that should be the same price in a good deal, or at least a fair deal, of one tier 4 class catalyst selector. But Kabam doesn't want to do that because they feel like $10 is just breaking the economy of the game to do that. And so they'll still give these 25 Tier 4 Class Catalyst Fragment Crystals, which are not even close to the same thing. Now, 100,000 gold is retail price for gold. Gold is always going to be the same price, whether it's 2015 or 2021. They just view it as 100,000 gold per 10 US dollars of purchasing. This is the exact same formula in this one. So, 5 Tier 1 Alpha. This is for beginning players that are super desperate to take up champions, even 4 stars, that need Tier 1 Alpha. And yes, 5 is also relevant because that's the amount of Tier 1 Alpha you need to take a 5-star up a rank. It's not the worst deal that you can get, but obviously these things are pretty cheap in the Glory Store. And keep in mind, we're on day 5 of Alliance Quest completion. So in the next, 10 hours, we should get our glory. And if you're desperate for Tier 1 Alpha, they're really cheap in the Glory Store, even if you're starting out. So it's always a weird thing for the marketing team to give these bundles on the same day that Alliance Quest rewards come out, because you think, well, wouldn't you want to give it on day 1 of Alliance Quest so that you're not super close to having the free resource to purchase the same thing that you're charging cash for? I don't know. I have said for years that it would be a blessing and a curse to be part of Kabam's marketing team, but that's just how I view it. I'm going to give this, for newer players, I'm going to give this a C-. I still think $2 a piece for Tier 1 Alpha is fairly average retail price, but for everybody else who's not new, F. All right, now let's look at the old price that's come back. And you can see I've got almost maxed out Tier 2 Alpha and definitely not maxed out Tier 4 Basic. So I'm actually more Tier 4 Basic poor at this point in my evolution of the game than Tier 2 Alpha or Tier 5 Basic for that matter. And part of it's because I love to take 5 stars to rank 2, and I want to do that eventually with all my 5-star champions. But this is, again, retail price in 2021. But remember, I did a video in the past month for those of you who are Cavalier and Thronebreaker players. If you're uncollected, this is a better value for you than us. Because even though it takes 4 days to form it, let me remind you that on a normal day, not a Sunday, but a normal Cavalier Daily Special where you get 9,000 Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst fragments, that's 4 days gets you a fully formed Tier 2 Alpha. So for you Cavalier players, you should never ever purchase a Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst bundle for less than $15 a piece, because you can get them normally any day of the week for $20 a piece. And on top of that, of course, it's not just the Tier 2 Alpha that you can get. And again, Sundays I like because the 6 stones and the generous hunk of Tier 5 Basic, but also the regular Cavalier Crystal has worse drop rates for 5 stars and 6 stars than the featured Cavs of that specific class's day. But you also get the bonus Cavalier Crystal, which is, in theory, why you buy it. So it's $20 for a tier 2 alpha for Cavalier and Thronebreaker players, but really it's far less than that when you consider all the other things you get, the 6-star shards, the tier 4 class catalyst fragments, and especially the featured Cavalier crystal, which really, I mean, oh no, I paid $20 for a tier 2 alpha plus a 5 or 6-star for quite a few people in that run. So uncollected, and we'll look at who this is offered to in a second, certainly benefits the most from this. It's also $25 worth of gold, but it's a $40 price tag. Going by the same gold logic that we've gone by years in this channel ever since we started tracking the first deal over 4 years ago, we really need to remind ourselves that if it's less than 100,000 worth of gold, it's Scrooge McDuck, cheap quality, and it should be 400,000. Let's see who these actually are for. Conqueror. Okay, so Conqueror and uncollected players. I think this for a Conqueror player is a B to B plus value, because you don't get tier 2 alpha easily every day from daily crystals or the glory store, and you certainly don't get them from the Cavalier daily special. So Conqueror players and uncollected, I actually think this is really great for you. Cavalier players, unless they lower them to $15 or especially like $10 a piece, it's just not going to be a justifiable expense for you when I know it takes 4 days instead of 1 day to form one, but you're going to get such an infinitely better value for purchasing these through the daily Cavalier special than this. But I think Kabam also knows that, and that's why this kind of deal used to be just for uncollected players, and now they've actually moved it down a ranking to Conqueror. And then the proven players are the only ones that I guess you could argue benefit from the Tier 1 Alpha Catalyst bundle in terms of value, but still with Glory Store coming into effect today, it's just worth waiting on. So, yes, Conqueror players, this is the best deal for you in all of 2021 so far. You're basically a Conqueror player that gets the same access to a cheaper resource that you would have to be on a much higher progression level. And I do think part of that is because of the way that the economy of the Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst has forever changed with this daily Cavalier special excluding Sundays. But at the same time, I also just encourage you watching this. Like, these are the days that you kind of do need to think about if you have a limited budget, and a lot of people do. Don't spend your money. Like, I know people who go, oh, $40 for two Tier 2 alphas. That's just so much money. I can't justify that. But then they'll buy a $50 early access bundle for $10 more than this, and they'll get 5 3-stars and 1,000 6-star shards and some boosts. And on paper, obviously, this is a way better value for your money because it's guaranteed value versus RN Judas betraying you with the crazy algorithm that is gamble crystals in the Marvel Casino of Champions. Well, there you have it, YouTube. I'm wearing my red because it's Sunday. Happy Sunday. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. And as always, thanks for supporting my Marvel Casino of Champions YouTube channel.